Hey everyone! In this video, I want to talk to you about financial freedom and how to set your own financial freedom goal. Financial freedom, I think, it's almost become a buzzword that people throw around all the time. It's really important to get clear on what it means to you because financial freedom means different things to different people. And so you need to define what that means to you, right? So the financial freedom to me just means money's not going to get in my way. Right? I'm free. So I have freedom almost from money, but that comes through money for me based on what I want to do in my life. It requires you to be really honest with yourself about what's important to you, about what you really want, and about what you're willing to do or not willing to do in order to have that. And like I said, different people have different versions of freedom. For some people, more of the FIRE mentality, which is around having a life where you really are minimizing your expenses. And so you're able to achieve financial freedom through earning a modest income and being very prudent with how you spend your money. And you focus on a life of simplicity and minimalism. And for some people, that feels incredibly freeing, right? That might be your version of financial freedom. For myself, I actually have like super expensive tastes, right? Luxury is something that makes me happy and feel good. And I also really like the challenge of earning a lot of income. It's also a game that I think is really fun. And so my freedom goal is something that's much bigger, where I want to support a more expensive lifestyle. And that means I need to figure out a way to generate more income in order to do that. Now, whatever your truth is, if it's, there, somewhere in between or somewhere off the map altogether, it doesn't matter. Right? What matters is that it's authentic for you and motivating for you. And when you reflect on it, you may realize that your financial freedom goal is actually, it doesn't have that much to do with money, but maybe there's just an aspect of life where you want a lot of freedom. So maybe you want to be able to take a year off and travel the world. Or maybe you want to be able to buy your dream home without a mortgage, or maybe you want to be able to have a job where the hours are really flexible and you get to work when you want to work, right? Getting really clear on what your version of freedom is the thing that is going to help you achieve that, is to actually know what you want and to make sure it's authentic to you and to just own that. Right? For me to own that I want financial freedom and I want it in a big grand sense, I had some shame about that initially because there's so much in our culture about how money is the root of all evil and greedy people want a lot of money and things like that. And it's okay, well, I don't know, that might be true. It might be true for some people. It might be true some of the time. It might be true none of the time. But what is true for me is I want a lot of money in my bank account. I just want that. I want to know what that feels like. I want to get to experience that in this lifetime. And so just owning that without limitation, I think a huge aspect towards being able to actually create that inside of your life. So for myself, financial freedom is something I think about often, that I am playing that game in my own life. And as I've played it over time, my definition continues to evolve and change. And it's almost like I've set different financial freedom goals along the way. And then as I achieve them, I come up with an even better definition of freedom, or my next definition of freedom, partially just because I like the game. So here's my freedom pyramid. Just explain how I've thought about this for myself to see if this inspires any ideas for you. So at the bottom of the pyramid, my first financial goal was around becoming financially positive. This is just where my income was greater than my expenses. So I was no longer creating debt. I had money left over at the end of the month. The next rung of my pyramid was around having financial security. Now I had an emergency fund saved up. I wasn't worried about, one unexpected thing happening and coming and tipping over my beautiful financial little building I was building. I felt like I was protected and safe. Then above that, the next row of the goal was to start earning passive income. And this is when I began to invest my savings, right? So any excess savings that I had over and above my emergency fund was now invested and starting to grow passively over time. The next level of my pyramid was now around increasing the amount of passive income that I was earning. So now I wanted to be able to earn enough passive income in order to pay for my monthly needs, so that if for any reason I had to stop working or I couldn't work, I was going to continue to earn income at least for some period of time. The core elements of my lifestyle were going to continue to be supported. So I could pay for my mortgage, I could pay for my groceries, I could make sure I had health insurance. Those basic needs were going to be covered by passive income. Next level goal was around having my passive income pay for both my needs and my want. And so now I'm earning enough passive income that I actually wouldn't have to change my lifestyle at all if I were to stop working. And then next ladder rung was to not only have my passive income pay for my needs and my wants, but to actually have money left over at the end to then reinvest, so that I wasn't just using all of the money that was coming from my investments, but I was actually also still growing my investments, and my money was starting to grow itself even if I used some of that money. And the next level of goal for myself is to get to a place where my money and my investments are earning more money than I could make from actually working. And I'm a high earner, right? I own multiple businesses, so my active income is quite high, and I would love to get to a place where the money that I have invested in growing actually makes more money than I ever could from my active work. And for me, that feels important, like a fun place to get to see what that feels like, getting to that point where I'm really truly not doing it for the money, because the money that I already have like makes way more than I can make from any work that I'm doing anyway. I'm just really curious to see what that would feel like for myself. So that's my current goal pyramid around achieving financial freedom. And for me, that's through passive income, because I know with that, then I can achieve all of these other things that I may want, like a vacation property or to go on a really long trip or things like that. So that's how I've been thinking about it. Let me know in the comments if you identify with any of those levels or wanting any of those levels for yourself, or if you have a different definition of financial freedom for you. Thanks so much for watching.